How about them Cowboys, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation? Dallas Cowboys get a hard-fought, much-needed win today against the New York Giants, 20-15. The Cowboys now move to 2-2, and we stay in third place in the NFC East. A lot to unpack from the game. Let's start with the defense. Defense still looks not great. They look like the Rod Marinelli bend but don't break defense. Now, they did a good job against the run, and you got to give them that, but they were terrible against the pass. Part of that is we're missing quite a few starters. Trayvon Diggs got hurt in the game. Deron Bland is still out. Kalen Carson didn't play. So we were down to like third and fourth string corners, just to put it in perspective. So we are missing quite a few guys in the secondary. We are beat up and hurt a little bit, but the secondary was atrocious. Andrew Booth, he made some good tackles, but he got torched many times. He was playing so bad that Mike Zimmer brought in 27, the practice squad guy. He struggled as well, but he did have an interception at the end. He did make a couple nice tackles to help us win. But we're very fortunate to win this game because if Daniel Jones had made a few of those passes, this would have been a completely different game. It really would have, Cowboy Nation. I'm happy that we got the win. We needed to win this game, but it was not impressive. The run defense looked better, but our pass rush looks much worse. Speaking of Micah Parsons, man, I know he struggled this year, but man, that's a big injury. I don't know how long Micah Parsons is out. I don't know if Micah Parsons will be back next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that injury didn't look good. From what reports say, it sounds like it's a high ankle sprain. Let's hope it is because we're going to need Micah Parsons. I know he struggled this year. His effort has been questionable at times, but we're going to need him, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation. Micah Parsons, we need him out there. I know that he has struggled this season, but we need him. Also, DeMarcus Lawrence ended up getting hurt. That hurt us too. So we're really beat up and hurt on defense right now. But the defense did only give up 15 points. Again, it's only the Giants, but I did say the Giants are a little bit better on offense than they have been in the past. Man, Malik Neighbors torched us, man. That guy's the real deal. He's a legitimate number one receiver. And Daniel Jones, honestly, Daniel Jones had a pretty good game. Outside that last interception, which was a Hail Mary, Daniel Jones had a good game against us. And our secondary was terrible. They were terrible today. The pass rush was not great either. DeMarcus Lawrence did have a pretty good game before he got hurt because he did have a sack. And another guy that had a really good game on the defense was Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith has looked really good the last couple weeks, man. He made a couple of really nice tackles in this game. So I gotta say, I know the Giants' offensive line is not like amazingly great. They're okay. But that's something. Mozzie Smith has done nothing, and he had a really good game today. Mozzie Smith made some plays. And the guy that was all over the field, he's got to be the only player on this team that can tackle. DeMarvion Overshown. DeMarvion Overshown was all over the field, man. That guy is talented. He can tackle, man. He is the best tackler on this team. I mean, which I'll get to in a minute. But DeMarvion Overshown, man, he's looking good. But besides that, I saw a lot of missed tackles. The defense definitely missed a lot of tackles that could have kept the Giants out of the game. That 4th and 1 where Donovan Wilson literally had Devin Singletary in the backfield for a loss. He missed that tackle, and that was huge. This defense has got to do a better job tackling, man. There was way too many penalties, which I'll get to in a minute. On both sides of the ball, defense and offense, but too many penalties, man. The Giants kept hard counting us to jump off sides. And it was driving me nuts in this game, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation. Absolutely ridiculous. Mike Zimmer was supposed to come in here and make this defense disciplined, make them not get penalties. Well, he did not do that. Defense looked incredibly undisciplined. So they got to work on that. And they also got to work on tackling, man. Zimmer, I give him credit. He came up with the right scheme in today's game. His scheme was right in stopping the Giants. The problem was the players were just not making plays. And he's also dealing with a beat-up, hurt secondary. So Zimmer did a better job today. He's still not off the dog list, but he did a better job. So I'll give him some credit there. I mean, we only held him to 15 points. We only had one interception at the end of the game and a sack. Not too great against the Giants, but I'll take it. It's a win. We needed to win this game. It's an improvement from the last 3 weeks. Still got to get better. We got to be better, especially if we got to play teams like the Steelers next week. Oh my goodness gracious, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation. We got to play better than this against the Steelers, because the Steelers will hurt us with Justin Fields running the football and Najee Harris. Now, I have confidence that our defense can stop them up the middle, but I'm talking about off tackle. They gotta do a better job. They can't get costly penalties like they did today. They just can't. As for the offense, first of all, got to give a shout out to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott had his best game of the season. Was he amazing? No, but Dak had a good game. I give Dak an A. He didn't turn the ball over. Dak played pretty well in this game. He really did. He was 22 for 27, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Dak had a solid game. Shout out to Dak. Dak actually had a solid game. And I know I'm hard on Dak Prescott, but I got to give the guy credit when credit's due. Dak had a solid game. Shout out to Dak. CeeDee Lamb had a solid game. He had 6 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown, and he also had 10 yards rushing. CeeDee Lamb had a good game on the offensive side of the ball. And Jake Ferguson made some nice plays, along with Hunter Lipke. I really like him. He's kind of a hybrid fullback. You can use him in the run game. You can use him in the pass game. He's like a tight end / fullback hybrid / running back, because you can run the ball with him too. He had a really nice game today. He made a really nice run on that 4th and 1 inside our own 50, which Tyler Guyton missed the block. I'll get into that in a minute. Offense, for the most part, though, was not impressive. 20 points. I mean, the Giants are better than they were last year, but 20 points against the Giants is not impressive. And it actually wasn't Dak Prescott, and it wasn't the receivers. It was Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is a horrible offensive coordinator, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation. The run game was actually working with Rico Dowdle. Do you want to know how I know that? He had 11 rushes for 46 yards. He was averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Even with Ezekiel Elliott, the run game was working. And when we were up towards the end of the game, we kept being pass happy. Mike McCarthy cannot call a game to save his life, man. He's so pass happy, and he's so predictable. He kept running. Every time we put CeeDee Lamb in the backfield, they know that the ball's going to go to him. And the Giants keyed in on that. I could have called that. It was very simple. Mike McCarthy has to do a better job, man, because he is so freaking predictable with his play calling. His play calling, and everybody was talking about Kellen Moore and Scott Linehan. Mike McCarthy is 1,000 times worse than Kellen Moore and Scott Linehan, because he has way more talent, and he looks absolutely terrible out there. He does not know how to call a game. He doesn't. He really doesn't, man. He did not utilize the run game the best way. He really didn't. I think Rico Dowdle could have done more than what he did along with Zeke. It was just Mike McCarthy was not doing the right game plan. And part of that also goes back to penalties. We got so many freaking penalties in this game. And this has been a consistent issue with Mike McCarthy. I can't get too loud because I'm in my apartment and I don't want to wake people up. It's late here. But Mike McCarthy does a terrible job. And this has been every game, every year. I say it in every video to minimize the penalties. And we got 11 penalties. We could have had more in this game that were declined. It's ridiculous. This team is incredibly undisciplined. Every time we made a play, it was always a penalty. This is getting out of control, man. I'm getting tired of it. I'm really tired of it. I'm just tired of it, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation. This is terrible play calling by Mike McCarthy. It is. It's horrible play calling. Just terrible all across the board. Tyler Guyton, man. Tyler Guyton was absolutely trash in this game. Kayvon Thibodeau, he completely dominated. Tyler Guyton has not looked great this year. He looked absolutely horrible in this game. And it wasn't just in the pass game, even in the run game. Hunter Lipke had to make a great play with staying up because Tyler Guyton missed the block. Tyler Guyton missed the block. If it wasn't for Hunter Lipke making a great play, it would have been a turnover on downs and the Giants would have had the ball inside the 40. Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation. That's not good. We've got to see better from Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton is, I get, he's a young guy and he's raw. But he looks terrible right now, man. He was absolutely terrible in this game. Dak was under pressure because of him. We couldn't run the ball to the left side. It was just bad. Really bad. Tyler Guyton, man, he struggles against some of these better pass rushers. I've noticed it already this season. But the offense overall, a lot of it came down to Mike McCarthy was not doing a good job play calling. I thought Mike McCarthy was absolutely terrible in this game at play calling. He kept abandoning the run when the run was working. The run was working at the end, and we kept abandoning the run and tried to pass. It made no sense. It made no sense. Just terrible coaching overall. Brandon Aubrey had a decent game. He did miss a field goal at the end that almost gave the Giants a chance, but it was a 51-yarder. Okay, it's a 51-yarder. He made a 60 and a 40. He did miss the field goal, but at the end of the day, he's been the best player on our team. Everybody else, CeeDee Lamb's been good, but he hasn't been the CeeDee Lamb that we're used to, and part of that is Mike McCarthy. But Dak had an A game. Dak had a solid game. CeeDee Lamb had a good game. Jake Ferguson had a good game. Offensive line, especially Tyler Guyton, F. Tyler Guyton was terrible in this game. He was getting destroyed. Defensively, I'd give him a C. I'd give him a C plus. They didn't give up. They didn't give up 20 points. They only gave up 15, which is, decent. So they didn't give up any touchdowns, but they didn't really do anything. And they did a good job of stopping the run, but they were so bad against the pass, I can't give them more than a C plus. They were okay. They weren't like anything special. Let's just call it the way it is. And overall, they got to get better. The biggest problem with this game is Micah Parsons got hurt, which is huge. D-Law got hurt, which is huge, and Diggs was hurt a little bit, which is huge. Let's just hope that these guys are healthy and they can play next week because we're going to need them against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We really are. Because right now, the way we're playing football, we played better today than we have in the past. I give the team credit, but it's not going to be good enough against teams like the Lions, teams like the Steelers, teams like the 49ers. We got to play better football, man. And Mike McCarthy has got to start utilizing the run game with Rico Dowdle. I believe Rico Dowdle now. I was hard on Rico Dowdle. I didn't think he could do it. But after seeing this game, I believe Rico Dowdle can do it. I really do. And even Zeke, I think Zeke can do it. Problem is Mike McCarthy. Problem is not the players on the offense. It's Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's scheme sucks. He's got to call the plays better. But anyways, Fan Nation, Cowboys Nation, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things to clean up. Got to clean up the penalties. Got to get better in pass defense. Rushing the passers got to get better. That's going to be even harder. Let's hope Micah is okay. Prayers to Micah Parsons, really, seriously. I know we've been hard on him, but prayers to the guy. Let's hope he can come back. Same with D-Law and Diggs. And the offense have to do a better job calling plays because it was ridiculous. Dak, shout out to him. He did a good job in this game. CeeDee Lamb did a good job. The person I put the most blame on was Mike McCarthy. Terrible scheming, but doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a win's a win. Go Cowboys. We're 2-2. Let's just hope we can improve, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.